Summertime, så du min, og jeg vild med dig. Summertime, honey, solen danser, du og jeg. Hver evig eneste morgen, der går jeg i skoven. Jeg tager min gummi på, giver hunden snor og synger tar. Om det regner, sner eller der sol for øjen, så bider jeg stille bånd for dig og ønsker dig lykke på vejen, så du nemlig får.
Hi there, this is your modern shaman Maria and RainbowLand here with the weekly forecast. It starts at the 31st of July and ends at the 6th of August. I'm out here in nature here at our new home on the countryside, an old farm turned into a non-farm, but more rather than a park-ish natural spot in the middle of the oldest forest of Denmark. Such a spiritual capital. It's just close to the ashram, the WAUW ashram, where so much transformation and transmission meditations has been going on since '92. There's kind of like a hole to the sky here, or to the heavens here. The energy is so different. When I came here the first time with the television crew of one of the television stations I was working on years ago, we were driving through the area, and at the time I consciously didn't know there was an ashram here and that the energy was different. And I asked, by chance we drove here, of course we were supposed to pass here, and then I tell the driver, the owner of the television station, he's driving the car, I'm saying, please stop, I need to take a picture right here, and we're just close to this place. I want to live here one day, I say. Why? It's in the middle of nowhere. Okay, I'm saying, you try to look around and then tap into the energy here. Of course, they thought I was some sort of a freak, because, and at the same time they knew what I was talking about. He was also into nature and stuff, but not as spiritual. But they kind of got it or didn't get it, doesn't matter what. I just knew already then that this was where I was gonna live. And then a couple of years later, I discovered the ashram, heartfulness, Hjelmborg. And I discovered that actually so many people are working on using the energy right here, because it has such a powerful connection to the higher realms. And now the prediction has come true, and I live here. I live in Tokyo. We live in Tokyo, me and my twin flame. Again, I will make a program about twin flames because it's rather interesting. Many people are finding their twin right now because we're incarnating with our counterpart that usually are on the other side, in the other realm, but we are coming down simultaneously because we need to alter something here on the planet Earth. Right now, the energy needs to alter and go from changing from the yang energy, the masculine energy, the patriarchal society, into more matriarchal, yin, feminine. And this has nothing to do with feminism at all. So if you are a guy watching this, Mooney, my dog, she's 15 by the way, Leo. If you're a guy watching this, don't worry, it concerns us all, but especially the guys actually. It doesn't mean that we will let go of the patriarchal good things that we obtain. So of course this doesn't mean that we have to let go of all the good things that we learned through the patriarchal times. We will have a balance between them. You know, it's like any kind of vehicle with too much weight on one side that's driving, you know, misusing one side of the car because there's too much weight on one side and too little on the other. Any kind of vehicle driving like that will be ruined over time or damaged. Anything out of balance, doesn't matter what it is, will eventually have to find its balance, and this is the turning point that we have reached. So it's a connection with Mother Earth. That is the yin energy. with nature. So if you felt more drawn to getting into nature, swimming in the lakes, as you also will see in one of the videos here, connecting, you know, like I'm doing here with the trees, being barefoot, stepping, you know, walking barefoot, feeling the ground, reconnecting with your feminine side. Also being able to listen. That is one of the very, very important parts of this. And I've had it in my life, I've had stuff going on in my life where I've had to explain what I meant by listening, because I would often say to someone, oh, it would be awesome if you could listen a little more to what I was saying. And the person didn't say, well, I am listening, but I felt, no, this person is not listening. And then I had to, you know, then I had to explain and even realize myself, what did I actually mean by that listening? And of course it meant that that person was mentally listening to the words, getting the concept of what I was saying, but was not listening with the heart. It wasn't giving space and room for what I was saying in this person's system. Because the person said, but I don't agree with what you're saying, that's why you feel like I'm not listening. I'm like, I don't need you to agree with what I'm saying, I need you to really hear what I'm saying. You know, because often we tend to interrupt, oh, I already know what you're saying, then we interrupt halfway through the sentences and play the ball back. But that's the masculine ego side, wanting to prove the point, prove one's own point, instead of actually feeling into where do you come from. We are 7 billion people, 4 million and something people here on this planet. So there's just as many realities, and this means that it's not about being right or wrong. It's about accepting in our hearts and in our whole being where the other person is coming from. That is real listening. And that is a feminine side, a feminine aspect. And whether you're a man or a woman, we're both as bad at it, because we always focus upon giving our opinion instead of receiving what you are coming with. And it's not the mental categorizing, conceptualizing what the other person is saying. I'm talking about listening with your whole body. Just being, allowing yourself to receive, allowing your inner child to come out, allowing your inner world to be real and to be there and have space and room and to have its silent voice. You don't always have to speak to say something. You can just be in a room and be the example, because we need the light workers to stand out now. We need the light workers to come forward, move forward. I have been here with Heartfulness. There's been a seminar because of a master's birthday, and now a family seminar coming up close to this ashram. So people from all over the world has been here, and especially from France and Germany and Russia, Uzbekistan, so many different regions of the world. So I was talking about astrology as the lunar eclipse was there, and there were people that never saw me before, but I was just talking and they saw the blood moon behind me as I was going through the signs. It was spacey because they hadn't gotten any idea of what I looked like, and that was the most awesome moment for me, because they listened with their hearts to what I was saying, not just conceptualizing. They didn't have to focus upon me or whatever. That's why it's nice right now that I am not close to the camera, but you can see the nature, you can see the lake. I don't know how easy it is to see because it's so green, and the green is reflecting in the lake, which is the earth, and the water is the feminine energy. And Muni over there, nature, you know, she has a good, animals has good earth connection because they have 4 legs, so they have something to touch the earth, the ground with. But I was with these people, and I felt this unity, this connection. So look upon your own life. Who is the soul group that you really feel connected to, that gives you something that makes you want to move forward towards being the highest potential of yourself, towards actually making a difference on this planet? Especially I felt this feminine union. I also had a reading with this wonderful, also heartfulness girl or woman, and she was also talking, just as I have been several times around the Cancer eclipse and also to the Cancerians, about how the yin energy needs to come forward. Then she starts during the reading also talking about it, and so many things during the reading came up where we just felt this union so strongly. And the same thing happened with the people from Heartfulness, and we went to swim in a lake. Amongst others, these amazing women, one from Uzbekistan, another one from Russia, Moscow, and we went swimming together in this lake. Amongst others, there was also 2 other people, and I talked about this, that we need to bring it forward on the earth and the planet. And they're very spiritual people. For years and years, they've been meditating, cleaning, and being responsible for the journey here on life, on earth. So one of the women came this morning after morning meditation, satsang at the ashram, and she said, "I really felt what you were saying. That's true. That's what we need to do. This is what we need to alter, and we need to not take the manipulative side of the feminine nature and misuse it in ways where we seduce the men to do something for us. That's also power. That's a misuse. What I'm meaning is give space for other people's feelings. It doesn't matter if you agree or not. It's not about agreeing. So the camera overheated. It's not about agreeing. It's about really listening. To hold each other, you know. To make space, to make room for each other. That's when you connect on a heart level. That's where you connect not only with the mind, but with your whole system. And that's what we need to learn as a species now. Because the reason why we are effing up the earth is because we don't listen to her signals anymore. We can't hear her. Because we've trained the mind, the rational mind, to be the only sound we're listening to. But real listening, we forgot. The yin energy is the earth. So we can't hear the earth talk to us anymore. We don't really hear each other. Because especially men are trained to not feel. Oh, you're a real man, Tarzan. You know, you're not supposed to cry. But that's the error. That's spot on, the imbalance on this planet. Another example is that we have Mars retrograding, right? And it was even conjuncting more or less this full moon lunar eclipse last week that was so powerful. And Mars is assertiveness and my will, this way, it's willpower, you know. So Mars is wanting things to be a certain way. And Mars retrograde is learning to let go of wanting things to be a certain way. Learning to release your idea of that things has to be this way and start being receptive. The yang energy is also Mars, and the yin. The yang energy wants to penetrate, it wants to move forward, it wants to have success, it wants to go this way, and it controls it, it dominates, etc. The yin energy receives. So the yang gives, the yin receives. If you let go of that things has to be a specific way, I want things this way, I want my house to be like this, because of all the Leo, we have the Leo Taurus things activating. You want things to be this way, exactly like that. This is what you desire, this is what you want. But with Mars retrograde, you need to let go of that. And then you can start receiving what your higher self actually wants. So it's also about trusting the process. I always say that a lot. Trust the process. I also say it to myself, of course. I'm just channeling also right now, right? So we need to learn how to trust the process and receive the information. Receive and notice the signs that are all over the place. And this eclipse was just a precursor, as I said 2 weeks ago with the Cancer eclipse, it's just a precursor for what's going to happen and go down over the next 2 years, and it will just intensify. So you better practice your skill of letting go of the need to control. Because then even better ways can be shown to you. The distrust is breaking the harmony, it's ruining the harmony. And distrust is also praying for what you don't want. So start focusing upon what it is you really want. And this channel and my readings as an astrologer, I've noticed that I never get a client that's just one that talks about the superficial things. I get all the light workers that has deep, profound things they want to change on a karmic level. I have Pluto exactly on top of my, in sun sign astrology, in opposition to my sun. On the tip of the 7th house. This means that where I meet other people, I can have the benefits, I can also have the non-beneficial things, but I've learned to deal with it more and more over the years. But I can have the benefits of Pluto going very deep within and transforming on a very deep level. So it's never just, you know, so if you're on this channel and you feel drawn to what I'm saying, even though you also see me, you know, in my designs and maybe looking a little, for some people, some spiritual people, like someone who cannot give a message like this. That's why I said it was nice that people couldn't see my face when I was talking during the blood moon eclipse. They said there were around 30 people at one point, and I didn't even realize who they were, and they didn't know who I was, so I could just channel the messages from the other side, you know, and without focusing on how I look or whatever. So please don't feel distracted by anything like that, and focus upon that. I know that people that are getting attracted to me are here to really join with me, unite with, not just with me, but with the energy of the people, everyone who wants to find the core of their life purpose, to do their duty as a light worker. And to do your duty as a light worker is not necessarily having a lot of followers or likes or being famous for this and that. Has nothing to do with how many people you reach, and nothing to do with how many likes you get. You know, this is Leo. These are Leo times while the North Node is still in Leo till October, November. This is about being your true, authentic self. Daring to be that. And once you integrate the yin energy, you automatically touch people around you. You don't even have to speak. But in order to get in there, you have to feel the different things you've been escaping, because the yin energy is also the introversion. And if you have kept running for something on the outside and pushing forward instead of surrendering and receiving, there's some work you need to do, and you're probably already doing it. If you're watching this, you are a spiritual person. Otherwise, you probably left the channel already. The yin energy is also spiritual, because to receive spiritual messages, you have to be open to receive. And the receptive side is the yin, the feminine side. This, of course, again, I have to say, masculine, feminine has nothing to do with man, woman. It's a natural side of you know, the yin and yang symbol, white, black, with the opposite color dot inside of it, integrated in a beautifully harmonious way. So you better be prepared, because this is just the first out of some eclipses that are going to be intensified. So better learn to release and surrender, let go of the things that you no longer need. You don't need to control things, let them go. When you clash with someone or something, practice your yin energy. Don't react. See if you can hold them in your space with no words. That way it can be healed, whatever they're going through. They're just projecting, perhaps, or maybe they're mirroring something inside of you that you need to look upon. But you cannot listen with your whole system and hear your higher self speaking if you're always on the I want this quest of your ego or your willpower. So now we are asked to turn down our yang energy while Mars is moving retrograde. We also have Mercury moving retrograde, so the rational mind that wants to figure all things out needs to let go and reconsider instead, revise, in order for a new period to come. Okay, my dog is getting inappropriate. This is essential also in your relationships. If you think about the times where you and your partner, and any kind of partner, so business partner, any friends, where you haven't understood each other, simply by the fact that you didn't accept and recognize that their reality was just as real as yours. And as we open up to our spirituality, which is also the yin energy, the intuition is very much Cancer. We have to focus upon that for the next couple of years. The third eye. Then it's so much easier for us to accept the different realities there are. And we will have less quarrels, less confrontation, less problem. Wherever the South Node is where we feel trapped, and it's in Aquarius, close to Mars. So there can be an underlinement of what the Aquarius energy, the downside of the Aquarius energy is that you just have a revolting or revolution for the sake of the revolution, or the revolting, trying to change something that maybe even doesn't even needs to be changed. So that I strongly encourage you not to do. Also, if you look upon, like, it's also humanitarian organizations, and there have been so much in the media around that they use all the money on salaries, and none of the money actually goes to the people that people pay to help, like stuff like that. There are many different examples, but I would rather focus upon where we could go potentially as a community, as a society, rather than focus upon what could go wrong. So the yin energy is just softness, you know, allowing your soft side to come out. Like my partner always say, "Oh, this is your sweet, soft side." And you can hear it when my voice turns to in a specific way. And he's good at it. He has a good energy, yin energy. He has a strong balance between the yang and the yin. He's very masculine at the same time as he's very feminine. He has both sides, and you don't lose anything. Oh, Moon is still here. I mean, you don't lose any dignity as a man for doing that. This is what gives him the most strength, is that he has this balance. It's so much stronger to have your feminine and your masculine side being in balance. So that rawness that we have seen, that it's cool, you know, we have tattoos all over and be raw and right. I'm not saying there's anything bad in having tattoos, that's not what I mean. It's just that I come from a town, a harbor town, where there was so much rawness, and always heavy and death metal, and that's also something you can ground by that, and you can face your demons. So it's not that this should not be there at all. It's just that there's been an imbalance between that we have to be masculine and raw and move forward and push through, and to just let our soft side show. So it's about trusting. Because of course, some of us that have shown our soft side and has been knocked down for doing it can have some fear about showing the spiritual side of you, showing your weaknesses. But that's a strength. The cool people are the ones who dare to actually show their weaknesses. Oh, I just wanted to check out that she was not jumping into the water now. Went to the lake yesterday, she loved that. So let your sweetness come through, man or woman, and inspire others to do so, is what I encourage you to do. And trust the process, let go of the need to control. One of the songs we made, the duo, Maria, Dahol and I, we made in 2002. This song is very much in connection with the feminine, because, and I will sing it before we go into your personal sun sign. Something to do with your breath as well, because in any inhale is followed by an exhale. But if we keep taking in, wanting more and more, we don't release, that balance is also bad for the body, you know. Like when we are very stressed and breathe only up here and we never breathe in to our stomach and feel the whole body, then we lose the earth connection and the calm, the peace, the balance. Because we take in more and more and more, but we never release and surrender the out breath. There's many yoga practices and meditations. Again, I always encourage you to find the right meditation form for you, or yoga, or whatever can make you go a little more into. I always recommend heartfulness because I've tried so many different throughout the last 20 years systems, and this is just by far the most powerful one. You can always write me, look at the email and the text, if you want to know where there is a free, because it's a free organization. People do it voluntarily, so there are people all over the world. That's just as I said, the women I was connecting to, and also some men, not some men, many women and women all over the world that are here to help you if you want to learn how to meditate and get the transmission, because in heartfulness you get the level of the meditation turned up like ×5. It's not mindfulness, because we want to get out of the mind and into the heart. That's why it's called heartfulness. But the breath is important, the inhale and the exhale. And sometimes if you make the exhale longer, you let go more easily. So in 2002 we made this song. It goes like this. Breathe in the summer magic, breathe out. Feel the wind by the sea as you're walking with me. Breathe in, relax your body, breathe out. Feel the heat of the sand as we walk hand in hand. A day without rain, I feel alright. Horizons of lights on a darker day, warm winds of change. It's a good life. Horizons will light up the way. Yeah. So this is also about the glasses you wear. You know, if we choose to see the light, it's gonna be there, because we manifest like this, what we think. Are strong, our thoughts are strong, stronger than we sometimes realize. Quantum healing is instant healing. There's nothing weird about it. It's you choosing to heal a part of yourself. It's you choosing to go another direction. Warm winds of change. You choose if they're cold or they're warm. The downside of Aquarius is that it can be cold. Co-ruled by Saturn, which is cold. You can always hear if people are following their hearts, because it's warm. You feel it feels warm, what they're saying and doing. Also with yourself. But if you have trust and an open, warm heart, and you follow your heart, no matter what others say, the change will be good eventually. So keep staying on that track. We're having Uranus doing some things this week, but I'll mention that in your personal sun sign. This was for all the signs. And as I always keep saying, for me, the collective report is the most important, because we need to have a paradigm shift that's happening, whether we like it or not now. And as I sang in the song, hand in hand, we need to walk, because united we stand so much taller. Let's go to the personal signs. Yeah. The interesting thing that I found, or that I saw now during these times where we need to learn about the yin energies, precursor for the next couple of years, is that I don't see the manipulation anymore. Because one of the reasons why it's been hard for the world at large to take in the feminine energy is because the female's ability to manipulate and use their intuition or their, skills, our skills in a negative way. So I really feel that the women that I'm connecting with right now are my sisters, everyone. I also feel men, like yesterday when we were swimming in the ocean, really, we were swimming at the sea and also at the ashram, meditating together, eating together. They call each other sisters and brothers, and they see the women as sisters, someone they can unite with, not in a sexual way or wanting to conquer or dominate, but rather wanting to connect with. But I feel it really, really obviously because I always felt competition that, females between them, like, oh, you're wearing the nicer dress, or you are more beautiful than me, or you have a more pretty voice, or whatever, competing in a way where there was jealousy and there was, distance. But now I feel the union, the sisterhood coming up. And the less we can be as women, manipulative and using the feminine power in a negative way, but taking advantage of the intuition that also allows us to feel where the men are instead of always judging them, to just hold them in our space. The more attractive it is for the males to integrate the feminine force within them. So let's all the women here, let's try to be the best versions of the feminine, to show the way, and all the men out there who actually have a very strong feminine side, intuition, a capability of staying in their emotions and feelings and having their inner child intact, etc. Because many women, most women don't know how to use their femininity. I come from a very masculine harbor town, where when I expressed my femininity, it was suppressed, attempted suppressed. Even by the women, they were not very romantic and they were not very emotional. They were not, So this is not about men and women. It's about integrating it at society at large. In society at large. So Cancer. Now we are moved to your personal sun sign. And you are the star of the zodiac from now on and 2 years ahead. Not that you won't continue to be afterwards, but you are very important for the whole evolution of mankind. Oh, what do you think about that? What do you think about that? Now you know how I feel. Spice Girls. Nothing to do with it. But anyways, hi there, Cancer. The whole collective report that you just heard was basically about what you're good at. And this week is no exception for you. Keep on emphasizing upon that you stay in your core and you are true to yourself and your own identity and who you are, no matter who criticized you, no matter who said, oh, but you can't this, you can't that, then stay in this beautiful core. Like on the day of the lunar eclipse, it was a group of 30 people, I was told. I thought it was less. It was dark, of course, because there was the eclipse and the blood moon. And one of the people who were listening to my astrology, I was talking, standing in the moonlight. He was a Cancer, a young Cancer. I don't know how old he was. Between 19 and 25. It was very dark. He was a dancer. And he was the male Cancers, well, the female Cancers of course as well, anything with prominent Cancers in their chart. But especially the male Cancers are the ones that can really show the way for other males, men who find it hard to stay in their feminine side and to express yourself through dance, music, in general, etc. is called to be a feminine expression because it's emotions. That's feminine. It's nothing to do with if you're homosexual, a man, woman, nothing. It's a Western society that got it all wrong. So this guy, and if he's watching now, he's on the mailing list, so probably he is, then you are definitely going to be a great example to whoever you get in contact with. And for all the rest of you Cancers, men, women, shine your light. So this week, I often get songs that tells me what to talk about. So just before I prepare just before I go here and go in and do the report, a song is playing in my head. And this time it was an old song. I don't know how old, but it was Travis Sing. And it goes like, and if you just sing, 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 sing. Now unless you sing, 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 sing. No. For the love you bring won't mean a thing unless you sing, 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 sing. For the love you bring won't mean a thing unless you sing, 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 sing. Yeah. So no matter if you can't sing, if you can, of course, I encourage you to do so. But it can also be dancing. It can also be, I mean, singing is also to let your heart sing, you know, to do what, express yourself through the feelings that make you shine and your heart sing the most. And the truth about Cancers are that they are co-ruled by the sun. That's my thesis, and a lot of astrologers in Denmark, including my uncle and aunt. Sun is a co-ruler of Cancer, but the reason why we don't see it so much is because you're more fragile, or you're more soft and sensitive underneath the shell than the Leos that are ruled by the sun. So you won't show it as much as the Leos that just forcefully go through the fire element in front of them. So it's not as easy for you guys. But this is your time to shine. I made a horary chart on the Cancers for this week, and on the ascendant we had Regulus, which is the star. Regulus is the King of Kings, King of Kings, forever and ever, God, Lord of Lords, Hallelujah, Hallelujah, King of Kings. Okay, Moni says it's too much. Oof, Moni, stop it. But what I wanted to say is that that's why I started this like this as well. It's your time to shine. It's your time to show the world. But of course we have Mercury retrograding right now in your second house, so maybe you're worried about some financial situation. Maybe someone is bringing something to the table that makes you question it, or reconsider it and go back and forth on what to do. You're not sure yet, but just give it time, be patient, because for 3 weeks Mercury will be retrograding, and it's okay that you spend some time considering what to do. Like Mooney here, she just sits down and patiently waits. Yes. Then we also have a square between Mars and Uranus is in the 11th house of friendships, groups of people, organizations, you thinking about the future, etc. In square to Mars, which is in your 8th house. And so this can be, you know, people talking behind your back, or you talking behind someone else's back, or, you know, it's to do with other people's money. So maybe someone don't want to invest even though they promised, or they don't think you should get as much as you thought, or blah blah blah. And this may jeopardize a friendship, or maybe the news come from a friend or something. No matter what, don't worry. It will solve itself at one point or the other. It's closely related to something that happened in May. It's similar to it, or it's a part of the same situation, but now in a new light. It's because the square between the two planets were also there in May, but it was between your relationship house and your career house back then. So these things are intertwined, but it's in a new light. And when Mars moves forward again, you will see it in a new light again. So there will be a solution to this. It's just a matter of patience and time, and not reacting to it. But Uranus is also in a good aspect with the Saturn up there, which is stable, more stable. Contrast between Uranus being unstable and because it's sudden change, etc., and Saturn being the stabilizer in your 7th house. So maybe there's also a friendship that really helps you, or some kind of other relationship that you can benefit from now that the other things are a little more shaky. Also, we have a 3rd quarter moon square in Taurus, between Leo and Taurus. So again, it's about your finances and groups of friends, groups of people. If you're in an organization like Heartfulness or whatever, where I'm meditating at, which you can always join, it's for free, based upon volunteers. So you just write me through the email if you want me to find you a free teacher somewhere, or not a teacher. It's more like it's a preceptor and someone who's reinforcing your meditation so it becomes even stronger. If you haven't tried it, you don't know what I'm talking about. And it's not like, oh, I tried to meditate. Yeah, but this is not your regular meditation. It's way stronger, trust me. I've been meditating for 20 years, different systems, but nothing was as strong as Heartfulness. Really moved something for me, definitely, and for sure. So, but there's still some letting go for you to do, also on very deep levels of you transforming spiritually. Still a process you're in, so it doesn't have to be something new. I just encourage you again to sing. No, but just shine that light of yours that you're so good at. And remember, there's so many people out there that need you to take their hand and lead them through what it means to be true to your emotions and your feelings, and what it means to be a Cancer, be in the yin energy, what it means to be receptive and be the great listener. And yeah, and that's also a good thing in the quest for inspiring people to follow their hearts. So remember, don't follow trends, follow your heart, as I always say. Until next week, Cancer. See you.
Easy sliding down on me. You are now in my arms forever, all the way eternity. Set you free to be loved, my Feeling Summertime. Så du er min, og jeg er vild med dig.